Hello, Enlighten22 here, and welcome back to my favorite server. And we are going to actually do the redstone in here today. Woo! I'm super excited to do this. It's going to be a lot of just interweaving redstone, and yep, here's the sneak peek. I haven't figured this out completely, so I wanted to show you what I've got and sort of what the problem is. And yeah, so we're focusing all of our redstone around this control room. Because, obviously, when you have it needs to be one wide tileable designs. Because all of these chests are next to each other. All of these levers are next to each other. All of that sort of stuff. So this is where the compact really matters. Once we get out on the factory floor, the redstone can be sort of everywhere. Doesn't have to be super compact. So start on this side. So the first thing for today is going to be worrying about the item storage. So just doing 2 rows. What we're going to have for each potion is 5 double chests. That gives us 270 of each potion. That feels like enough to me. Now, this is where the redstone becomes very complicated here, very fast. Like the basic idea is super simple. Comparator for the bottom chest and comparator for the top chest. The bottom chest will go to one of these lights, and the top chest will go to the other one up here. Just so it lights up when it's empty and lights up when it's full. Relatively simple, but trying to keep all of this redstone in between all these chests, going up, down, all over the place, makes it quite a bit harder. This is just I fall off the chest. But this is just the start of it. Right here, you can sort of see. And we're using brown wool for this part. And the other big problem here is we're going to have minecarts depositing items to these hoppers or some equivalent out somewhere else. Which, once again, we have 36 different minecart tracks coming into this. Which makes this a lot more complex. Just wanted to show you what the problem was, and I'll get to working on it and see what we come up with. Also, you might be wondering, how do I get these 2 chests together? Like, where will the items come in for these chests? Oh, I'm pretty proud of this. We're actually going to be sticking droppers underneath these bottom row of chests, and that allows the storage to be a little bit more compact. So, might wire that up, but I'll definitely start worrying about this wiring. The monstrosity is beginning to take shape. This here is, as I was saying before, to just light up these lights. So this brown wool, it takes the signal from the comparators at the bottom chest all the way up, around, and to the light. The yellow wool will be taking the comparator signal from the top chests all the way over and around to here. But haven't done that part yet. Just wanted to show you this. And yes, this red hardened clay here, that is where the minecarts will be going. Those aren't done quite yet, but we'll get to that. But we have space for those inside of this wiring. The hardest thing about this wiring was taking a signal from this bottom chest to light up the bottom light. Doesn't sound hard until you realize in a 1 wide area I have to take the signal up and then over. If you notice something with the square, where will the second signal go? So for the second chest, it has to go up past this first signal into the middle light. So middle has to go through the first. So that's an issue, especially since we wanted this all 1 wide. I actually had never seen this before, never seen a solution to basically cross redstone signals in a 1 wide area, and I couldn't find any solutions online, so I came up with my own. And this is it right here. Ooh, leather cap. And yes, so if you notice, I turn on the bottom, put the signal on bottom, and it turns on the bottom light. Put signal on top, turns on the top light. Turn off bottom, turns off bottom. There we go. And how this works, relatively simple, but still relatively took me a while to come up with. Once I thought of it, it was like, oh, it's kind of obvious. So redstone can go through slime blocks, so you just use sticky piston with a slime block. I'll call it a slime block tower. Redstone blocks at top, like so, and it'll power that. And this line goes straight through this slime block to that piston, which makes it all work. One big thing to note, you need one of these repeaters to be on 2 ticks. So it could be this one, it could be this one, it could be anywhere in the line, but you need a repeater on 2 ticks, because if it's on 1 tick, what you'll see here, this is powered, this top line, but when I power the bottom, it detracts that. What's happening is, as this slime block moves, for 1 tick, the slime block's invisible. It isn't there, so power doesn't go through, and this piston retracts. So it's powered, but the piston has already retracted, and it becomes a bud switch, if that makes sense. It's a little bit confusing, but by turning it to 2 ticks, during this 1 tick of the slime block moving and being invisible block, this stays powered for 2 ticks, so first tick it's invisible, second tick it's powered again. If that makes sense, but just wanted to point that out in case any of you wanted to use this design. So let's walk through from bottom to top. The bottom chest and middle chests. The signals run along here. The white wool just indicates where basically white wool's there just to keep redstone circuits from touching. Never cross circuits. Never cross the streams. Ghostbusters! Alright, then it goes into this slime tower, pushes up the pistons. This is the top signal, so it has to match up to the top redstone lamp. So using these furnaces, it goes through both the slime towers over to its own slime tower, right down here, goes up, and now the signal ends up on top. Woo! And then the middle and bottom sort of interweave in here. A little bit confusing, but same exact principle, just gets complicated in bulk and when you're weaving 3 different things together. So then you end up with 3 circuits of the correct, in the correct locations. They come down here and another slime tower pushing down onto those lamps. That's it. So, when this redstone gets powered on top of the white wool, it powers the pistons, pushes down, and that then powers the lamps with these redstone blocks. And as you can see, it repeats. Basically, it just alternates. So the first one's here, second one's here, third one's going to be up again. So the brown wool will be the same as the first column. It'll just alternate back and forth, and that'll keep the circuits from touching. Let's just run down here, and probably should have done this first, but we'll just show what happens. So these 4 chests have items in them. I was just playing around, and if I take items out of this chest, it turns off. Put items in here, light turns on. So basically, if the light is on, you know there's items in the chest. If light is off, the chest is empty. Next, we'll be wiring up this side to show if the chests are full. Here we are with the next part done. These yellow lines of redstone. Well, the yellow wool indicates the yellow line of redstone, and that is the sensors for when the top chest has items in it. Woo! So that's working, and it's pretty straightforward. Pretty much the same thing. Has a line there and line there. Goes through all those piston, like the slime elevator, slime towers. Then goes up, and then we have 3 lines going to the far side. That's about it. The one thing to note is, to make the slime blocks send redstone down, you need to have a piece of redstone right where that yellow wool is, above the piston. Because if you just do redstone, air, piston, the piston will always be bud powered and it causes issues. I forgot about that. So little thing to note. But that is that step done. And the last thing we have to do for the storage is get 4 more chests linked up to the bottom row, which we'll be using droppers for. And I've actually already got the design for that, so it should be pretty quick for me. Super quick for you, because it will be a cut and it will be done. And it's done. We're behind the chests, like the chest array, added a new one for underneath, and this is a whole bunch of droppers, this entire intimidating wall. Basically, using a relatively simple, actually a really simple dropper setup here. This was made by Drake Devry. If I remember, I'll link into the description of this video down below his tutorial on a 1-wide dropper elevator. There's only one issue I have with it. So his design, it's this all the way to the top. It works really well. Other than one issue is if you have a trap chest at the top and open it up, it powers the 2 hoppers below it, which means items get stuck on the 3rd hopper down. And how the system works is 1 item goes in, 1 item goes out. So if we have a stack of items stuck here, they're going to be stuck there forever. So, to fix that, I added my own little design to it. It's basically his tower ends, pushes items to the 3rd dropper down. Then we have comparators to a repeater. Let's try to find a good way. Here we go. So comparator to a repeater, that makes it full strength. And that goes to a redstone line that is under this block. Then it goes to this comparator timer. It's a comparator on subtract, set at 4 ticks. If I made it 3 ticks, there was some weird reaction when items were next to each other. But it takes it down here to repeater into a torch. This torch powers this dropper, and it requires this block here, which then powers the dropper in front of it as well. Okay. So that's that explanation. I'll just throw some items in. Let's go up here just as a proof. Prove that works to you. So this chest has no green wool in it. This is all slime. And just trust me, the other chest doesn't have green wool in it either. Let's do this one first, just in case. 32 in here. 45 in here. We'll come back later, and it should all be up there. Now, I did make one very, very slight change. So previously, the comparators were against the chest, and as I was recording last clip with you, I was like, yeah, so we'll notice if an item's in the chest. I took a mental note of, wait, that's a bad idea. Because that means if there's 1 item in this chest, the system will stop working. That means we're wasting over 50 inventory slots. Instead now, it's taking this hopper, and the minecarts will drop into this hopper here. So that way it will fill up all except for this hopper and maybe like 2 slots in here. So that's what we want. This yellow line runs down there and runs all the way to that slime tower, taking the signal over, just like before. So this is all functioning. The main add-on was this dropper elevator, and we could hear the tick stopping. 44. I feel like I put in 32. Oh, okay, apparently I put in 32 in the other one. We did lose one. I'll go check that off camera. If there's any major errors, I'll let you know. If not, it might just be one getting left behind. And yes, I am aware that the droppers do make a bunch of noise, but how the system works, no more than 3 potions should be delivered at a time. So that noise shouldn't last for too long. It should just be a quick and done. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Alright, so I noticed it got stuck in here. I'll do some more tests and make sure that it doesn't pile up. If one item is constantly stuck in the system, I'm okay with it. So I'll test it off camera and make sure. And TNT. Hehe. Oh. Oh no. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. TNT. Yep, so what we're doing is making the curve all... Ah! Little bit of lag here. Oh, I haven't had this much troubles ever. And that should set that one off. There we go. Did you see that? It looked like the TNT pulled me in. Okay, so what we're doing is basically laying out the curve of the... like, this hole. I told you how it was somewhat spherical. I'm setting up this curve, and from this quick look, it looks good. So, a lot more, and we'll probably just get this line and maybe another line at a right angle to it. And again. Wait for the sizzle. What? What? How did that not go off? Okay, I'm a little bit confused. Apparently the explosion doesn't go upward. Or very, very little. Uh-oh. Ooh, there we go. TNT all the way across the sky. Or the ground. Yes, so the idea here is I've just created a quadrant? A quadrant. That's what I was going to say. I've created a quadrant by blowing up right along here a line, and I blew up a line right along there. So the next thing is to worry about this one, like this quarter of the circle, or this quadrant, and get that all blown up correctly. It's just nice. Breaks up the bigger tasks. There's a little bit more like, oh, I got this part done, and now there's 3 more parts to do, but I got 1 part done. It's a nice way to break up big tasks. But enough talking, let's get to blowing stuff up. This is what 3 stacks of TNT looks like. Let's make a bit of a hole. Starting over here. Oh, a little bit random. A little bit chaotic. Just how I like it. Okay, that did something. I missed that over there. Probably should run over there anyhow. So yep, I'm taking off the top layer, getting the circle better formed, and let's run on over there. Boop. Oh, I love TNT. Can't get tired of these explosions. Oh, I'll need to fix up that water over there. Let's watch the TNT though. Doo-doo. There we go. And bam. We have a hole. Let's go up there, check out how it looks. And this is a good height to see it from. The crater is beginning to take shape. So here, this is the depth there and there. The outside edge is very defined now, and we're even starting to hollow out this inside here. So this is coming along very nicely. But we're actually out of TNT, and I don't have time to go collect more sand. So that's all we have for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.